to be showing a few of the old Kenner toys for Star Wars. And I'm starting at the beginning of the first movie, A New Hope. So I'm just going to show a few things that appeared on Tatooine. Now this here is called Land of the Jawas. So it's a basic playset that it only came with a few things. It doesn't come with any of these action figures I've set up. It only comes with this platform here that mimics the sand of Tatooine, the escape pod that C-3PO and R2-D2 used, and this cardboard Sandcrawler backdrop. Now, it's in pretty good shape considering this is more than 35 years old, but it is flimsy and there wasn't really a lot you could do with it as far as playing with it. And before I actually show you the elevator, let me just show you the front, and I'll move the figures out of the way as I go. So Obi-Wan is standing on a platform that rotates. There's a switch here. And as I turn it, it's going to make a pop sound that pops what the Tusken Raider's standing on to make him fall. I'm going to move Obi-Wan's arm down because otherwise the arm would knock him over before the switch gets to do his thing. That's supposed to make it look like, two characters are fighting there, but like I said, his arm extends so far with the lightsaber, it just knocks him right over before that happens. So let me just move these guys out of the way. Back here is a very small cave. I got a Jawa standing in front of it. He'd easily fit in there. I don't know if maybe it's supposed to be like somebody's R2 hides when Jawas come looking. This Jawa here has the cloth cape. If you're familiar with the old toys, the first one came with a plastic cape, kind of like Obi-Wan. But a lot of my toys are a little older than the first run because, I was born in '75, so I would have been a little young when the first movie came out. But they reissued pretty much all the action figures that were in the first movie, just in different packaging. They'd switch to the Empire Strikes Back packaging. And then Return of the Jedi, they'd keep issuing the same figures, maybe with some changes. The C-3PO is a little flimsy. And the escape pod, it's got a few stickers on it, give it some detail. It does have some designs on it too. And it opens up with a little control panel in there. It does have a few pegs to hold two characters though. Just dropping them in there, they should stand up well enough because it's pretty narrow. Alright, R2 is back here on an elevator. So this thing, it slides up to make it look like he's going into the Sandcrawler. There's just a little switch here on the back of this. I think you can maybe see him through the window. What this is, this front piece comes off. It's just cardboard folded up with little tabs that slide through. This hooks onto things. I don't know what it hooked onto originally, probably more cardboard. I just used some regular cardboard I had to try to stand it up. Also using a book to prop it up because I don't have, I guess, whatever originally came in there. As you can see, it just has these slots here. Oh yeah, I've got Luke's head sitting there. This is trying to make it just as a joke that he looks like he's buried in the sand. So yeah, my Luke's head broke off the body. I only have one Luke from the original. I've got a few others. They made a lot of different variations on Luke, different outfits for each movie. So I've opted not to super glue it on, but I easily could. I've been using this head kind of as a joke for things. You may have seen him in a few spots. He's in the Sandcrawler I'll show you in a few minutes. The actual good Sandcrawler, not the flimsy cardboard. He's looking out the window, and then he's also in the opening of this video. He's sitting inside a Hot Wheels car, his head. So you may have noticed him. I've hit him in a couple other spots, I don't really recall which, but he's around. So take a closer look at the panel here. So here's the switch that moves, and the little thing that snaps. Just a groove where the escape pod sits. And there's pegs all over the place for where characters can stand. Of course, they can stand without a peg, but it helps keep them upright. And then some tracks look like a sandcrawler rolled through there. It's a nice base just to use for playing, even if you don't want to use the cardboard, which isn't really that great. They made one of these for Hoth as well. I don't own that one. That one, of course, is white with to mimic snow, and then it has a AT-AT backdrop. Okay, move on. Alright, here's a Dewback. So Kenner calls this the patrol Dewback. Of course, a Dewback in the wild wouldn't have a harness and a saddle. So his legs all move. His head and tail move in unison. This slides around a bit. But just move it. You know, you can see he's got a little trap door here. I don't know how easily you can see it. So I'll have to leave that over it right now. But it pushes down so that when you put a figure in there, he just slides inside the creature. The tauntaun works the same way. It just looks like he's riding it. Of course, technically they were sand troopers that used these, but the original line didn't make the variation on the stormtrooper. They didn't make the sand trooper. They did make snow troopers that look a bit different, but sand troopers pretty much look like stormtroopers, just with a few different items. This is fairly detailed, the sculpting. You can see all the little scales. I'll give you a close-up later before I end the video, in case you can't pick it up this far away. I also have photos on the blog as usual. There's always a link on these toy videos in the video description. It links to the blog with photos. Alright, here comes Headless Luke, his body. This is his Landspeeder. It's the X-34, though Kenner didn't put that on the box. They just called it Landspeeder. And inside there's a gear shifter. Just move Luke out of the way. What it does is it raises and lowers the wheels. So, like in this position, it would look like it was parked, and then as you pop it up, it'll look like it's hovering, because this just pretty much glides over the desert. And the hood also opens up. There's a button right here, and just has a sticker in there to make it look like an engine. They did remake a lot of these toys in the 90s, so if you're interested in acquiring these toys, I don't know if they still remake the old ones. I haven't shopped for toys quite some time. They're probably just concentrating on the newer movies, but the 90s toys shouldn't be too much more than the retail price, I wouldn't think. So they did make a newer Dewback and a newer Landspeeder. They even made the Jawa Sandcrawler, which I'm going to go to next. Alright, this is remote controlled, but my remote doesn't seem to do anything. So it's got just a sticker on each side and a button on the top and a rather long antenna. So I'm fairly certain pushing the button would make this go, but mine just goes on its own. I took it apart. I could not figure out what was wrong with it. Everything's connected how it would have been originally, so not too sure what's going on there. So this uses a 9-volt battery, and inside here takes 2 D batteries and a 9-volt battery, but the 9 volts only used for communicating with this, so with just the D batteries, mine goes on its own. I don't know if it's supposed to though. So if I just turn on the switch, it'll go on its own. Knock something over. Move these a bit, because I'll show you all the details, but I'll just let you see it go first. Just gonna drive in and out of the frame. And crashing into everything. on the bottom. These are the back wheels are where they're powered. The front wheel you can rotate to go straight or turn. Then the power switch is right there. This is an elevator here. And the front opens up. And those figures in there knocking around. That's what the noise is. Now I don't have the stickers. I guess my parents never applied them. And I don't know if I have the sticker sheet anywhere. There would just be a few stickers up here to mimic a control panel. Now the other door, the main door, is on this side. This little ladder staircase thing here pops off pretty easily. So it's just meant, it doesn't stay all the way down there, but it's just meant to mimic stairs for the Jawa. It's got an R5 unit in here. There's a power droid kicking around in R2. I had him in the elevator. And then the panel right here where the batteries go. Let me just show you the elevator first. That just drops down, you can rotate it. That's how a droid would get in and out, I guess. When you play with toys, you can either use the elevator, obviously just take it out yourself. Just add a little bit of realism, like the cardboard thing even had an elevator as well, so I guess they consider it a unique feature. Of course, there's not a lot to do with this, it's a cool looking toy, and of course it can carry a lot of figures. And it's electronic, which is always fun. It's got a lot of design on it, like a lot of grooves, and they're all over. It looks really cool, but it also gets a lot of dust, and it's hard to, I found it hard to clean off. I mean, I wiped it off with a damn cloth, used a cotton swab in between, but there's still a lot of dust in there. Probably have to put a lot of water to kind of rinse it out. So it is a little tough to clean if you let it get dusty. Alright, let me move the droids out of here. Let's try to show you the batteries. Not that it matters too much for this door here. Slides open. Slides much farther than that, but I want to jam it under there. So the 2D batteries would just drop in there, and the 9 volts right in front of them. This originally cost $29.99 according to rebelscum.com. I assume they're accurate, which is a really good price. I mean, back then obviously things, with inflation, things were lower then. I mean, but today that would be, I would consider that a steal, $30, because the action figures today, they cost around $10, I believe. And back when this would have released, the action figures were probably $2 something, maybe $3 at most. Alright, this is the last old toy I was going to show, but I do want to show one 90s toy, just because I like it so much. I'm not going to show too many 90s toys in these videos, I don't think. They're all sealed still. But this one I want to show because it never had an original. This is the Bantha toy. Comes with an exclusive Tusken Raider figure. And it's really well designed, very detailed, and there's a hole cut out here, so if you were shopping in the store you could stick your fingers in and pet it, feel it, you know, to get a feel for the hair, see how realistic it feels. I don't know, I really like this. I like Tusken Raiders, of course, and I also like Tatooine. I'm a fan of the desert, so Tatooine toys appeal to me a bit more than something like Hoth toys. I just think this is really nice. I know I haven't opened it to actually play with it, but it's really a great display piece. And there's a few pictures of some of the other toys they remade with the Rancor. There's a Tauntaun and a Wampa. They're a little small though. Like I said, there'll be a picture of this as well on the blog. Alright, so I'm just going to set these back up and give you a close-up view. I'll be carrying the camera, and I won't have the microphone on the camera just to avoid it picking up the autofocus. So might not hear me quite as well. Not that it matters. I'm just gonna kind of move around the table with the items set up. So stay tuned for that. Okay, I am holding the camera now. So, like I said, the microphone's a bit farther away from me right now. I don't know how well you can hear me, but I'm gonna just go around the table. Alright, I'm going to go behind the playset now. Right here you can see the tabs pulling away. So that's just where, you fold it and stick it through the backing. And I got propped up with a book, a nice Star Wars book. And there's the elevator switch. A piece of the plastic is broken right there. So then he just slides up in that little hole there. And there's that small cave, really only like an R2 unit or a Jawa can fit in there standing up. And it's part of the remote control there, that cable, the wire there. Alright, I'm going to try to look inside the Sandcrawler. I got the battery door open right now. So that just slides. There's a lot of space in there. I think there's 13 pegs to actually stand figures on. There's R2 in the elevator. And there's a couple little staircases going up to the front. And the Landspeeder. Got Luke's head balancing, so it looks like he's got it again. And that's it. I'm not going to actually show the bantha in this. It's just in the packaging. So, thanks for watching, and check out the blog if you want to see a little bit more.